Thingkho Le Malcha, by KSO Media and Documentation Cell, issue number 46. Friday, 27 October, 2023. Headlines: WKZIC condemns deployment of state forces in more border town. Tankle students' body rejects MOA between Assam and state government to continue agitation in its jurisdiction. 10 political parties tell BJP government to relieve Kizo MLAs from their role as MLAs, cabinet ministers. 7 Meitei terrorists arrested within 72 hours, huge cache of arms, ammunitions recovered. Assam MP emphasizes unity of Zo ethnic tribes in northeast. Manipur government, don't follow holiday on every Friday resolution adopted by joint students' body, LAMCA. Disinformation as a tool in Manipur conflict. Dominant communal machination. Thingkho Le Malcha, Relief Center update. Yaolan Chapu Relief Center, C. Yaolan Village. Lunching Maifai Subdivision, Ukral District. Managed by Kuki Students Organization Ukral Branch. Total inmates registered, 82. Male, 37. Female, 45. Kuki victims update as on October 16, 2023. Deaths, 146. Villages burnt, 200 plus. Houses burnt, 7,000 plus. Churches and synagogues burnt, 360. Displaced persons, 41,425. WKZIC condemns deployment of state forces in more border town. The World Kukizo Intellectual Council, WKZIC, has strongly condemned the posting and deployment of Manipur police commandos in More Town, the town of Kukizo people of Outer Manipur. In a statement issued by the council today, the WKZIC said the Meitei chief minister started genocidal pogrom from the May 3, 2023 and killed many Kukizo people in and around Impal East and Impal West districts and drove out all the Kukizo people from Condemns Manipur. The so-called Manipur was forcibly divided into Kangli-pak and Kukizo land as Meiteis and Kukis are totally separated physically, emotionally, economically and politically as hills and valley, it said. Rahul Gandhi, while speaking to the people of Mizoram in Asval, during his campaign stated that BJP government had divided Manipur into 2 states for Meiteis and Kukis. His statement was totally correct as the 2 communities were separated from the 4th of May 2023. Therefore, deployment of ethnic Meiteis of Manipur Commando Police, MCP, and Manipur Police, MP, who joined hands with Meitei radical groups for Kukizo genocide in Condemns Manipur, in Kukizo inhabited hill districts is totally unacceptable to the Kukizo people, said WKZIC, adding that Manipur police commandos of Kangli-pak must be withdrawn with immediate effect for restoration of peace in More Town. The Meitei chief minister of Condemns Manipur, who schemed ethnic cleansing pogrom, should immediately withdraw his Kangli-pak police commandos from More, whom he airlifted to More by helicopter a week ago. The Kukizo people will never allow and accept the Kangli-pak police commandos to be posted at Dungdung/Tungtung Mole, Kondong, Hoikim village, more as the land belonged to Kukis. Meiteis of valley districts have no right to live in Kukizo land as valley and hill districts are now totally separated. Likewise, it is totally impossible for Kukis to live together again with Meiteis who ill-treated, hated, killed and ejected all Zo ethnic Kukis from Condemns Manipur. The WKZIC also requested the central government to kindly supply food and other commodities for the people of More as Meitei Mira Pibus blocked the supply of essential commodities for the people of More for 5 consecutive months since May 2023 till date. WKZIC further requested the Prime Minister Modi, HM Amit Shah and the Governor of Manipur, Anusiya Yuki, to look into the humanitarian crisis in the border town and food scarcity in More Town as custodians of concerned state and central government, to do the needful on humanitarian ground. Tankle students' body rejects MOA between Assam and state government, to continue agitation in its jurisdiction. The Tankle Katamneo Saklong, TKS, has declared to continue shutting down of government institutions in its jurisdictions, defying the Memorandum of Agreement signed between the All Naga Students Association Manipur, Assam, and state government on Thursday. A statement rejecting the Memorandum of Agreement issued on Thursday stated that TKS Executive Council had a threadbare discussion regarding the demands on October 26 and conveyed its decision to the Assam to continue with the agitation. Until and unless their demands are met, the Saklong is compelled to issue this statement that we will not adhere with the MOA signed between the representatives of government and Assam on October 26. We will continue with the agitation within the jurisdiction of the Saklong until our demands are met, said TKS. The Tankle students' body also said that they had fully endorsed the directive of Assam by picketing the government offices and ensured that the government offices were completely shut for 3 working days within its jurisdiction. Considering the peaceful and calm situation in Naga inhabited areas, the Saklong had repeatedly requested and appealed to the concerned authority to immediately lift the blanket ban of people's basic rights, i.e. the Internet Art 19(1)(a) of the Constitution, said the statement. The Saklong further appealed the government employees and general public for utmost cooperation. 10 political parties tell BJP government to relieve Kizo MLAs from their role as MLAs, cabinet ministers. Representatives from 10 political parties in Manipur has advised the BJP government to take action against the 10 Kizo MLAs and urged it to relieve them from their legislative role as members of Legislative Assembly and cabinet ministers. Addressing a press briefing on Friday at Manipur Press Club, Impal, the Communist Party of India, CPI, leader Lajram Sotinkumar asked why has not the government taken action against the MLAs who have not participated in cabinet meetings or the assembly sessions. Demanding action from the government against the Kizo MLAs, Sotinkumar advised the government to act and relieve the Kizo MLAs from their role as members of Legislative Assembly and cabinet ministers. The actions of the 10 Kizo MLAs defy both the Indian constitution and democratic values. Therefore, the MLAs ought to be suspended without delay, he said. The convener of the 10 political parties, Kshetramyum Santa, while briefing the media asked whether the BJP took any disciplinary measures against the BJP MLAs who voiced dissent within their party. Are they merely trying to pacify the 10 dissenting MLAs and others with their appeasement tactics? He questioned, reacting to the recent statement by the BJP Manipur president, Adhik Ramayam Sarda, on the BJP MLA's non-involvement in demand for separate administration. Kshetramyum Santa compared the BJP's method of handling Manipur issue to Adolf Hitler's false propaganda leading to World War II. Santa, who is also the secretary of Communist Party of India, Marxist, then accused the state BJP president of spreading false propaganda to the media and dubbed the BJP government in Manipur as a double-standard government. Explaining his labeling of the BJP government as a double-standard government, Santa further said that the BJP government in Manipur appears to align with hill residents at times and with valley residents at others. Such inconsistency of the BJP government is the reason why it is termed as a double-standard government. The convener of the 10 political parties also shared insights of their discussion with the Union Home Minister, Amit Shah, on May 29. Santa said when he inquired if the center had a strategy to manage illegal immigrants after the junta regime had seized power in Myanmar, Amit Shah had responded that no such policy existed and there was also no bilateral discussions with Myanmar. He alleged that the BJP government never initiated a genuine dialogue but were quick to propagating misinformation. The BJP's tactics mirror Adolf Hitler's approach during the Great Depression era, preceding World War II, where he flooded the narrative with deceptive propaganda to make falsehoods seem authentic. Santa said the BJP will attribute issues to narco-terrorism, point fingers at illegal immigrants, or discuss forest conservation, constantly shifting the narrative. Amit Shah has previously attributed the conflict in Manipur to the ST demand by the Métis. The BJP leaders are inconsistent, altering their statements frequently, he added. 7 Métis terrorists arrested within 72 hours, huge cache of arms, ammunitions recovered. The Central Security Forces' claim on reactivation of the near-dormant terrorist groups stands vindicated in Manipur. The Central Forces have been claiming that taking advantage of the ethnic violence in Manipur, dormant armed militants based in Myanmar have become active once again. On Friday, security forces arrested 5 active members of Kangleipak Communist Party, Military Task Force, a Métis terrorist group, during a search operation conducted at Yarapok Yambam and Shangamdabi villages under Andhra Police Station. The arrested persons are identified as Singam Kabikanta Singh, 31, of Thabal Wankam Mamang Laikai, Thabal, Ngengom Tomba Métis, 30, of Sektamayai Laikai, Impal East, Sadakpam Nangpo Kangba Singh, 22, of Yarapok Phangjakong, Thabal, Konsamaneo Singh, 26, of Mayung Impal Thana Mamang Laikai, and MD Elias Khan, 30, of Yarapok Shangamdabi Maka Laikai, Impal East. The combined team of Andhra Police Station and CDO, Impal East recovered several items including 1.32 pistol loaded with 6 live rounds in the magazine, 4.38 live ammunitions, 6 AK ammunitions, 12 inches ammunitions, 27.62 SLR live ammunitions, 5 mobile phone handsets, a sum of 2,090 rupees and 1 car, Hyundai i20, without registration. Police sources said arrested persons disclosed that they have been involved in extortion activities from the general public, government officials, businessmen etc. The arrested persons and recovered items have been handed over to Andhra Police Station for further legal formalities. On October 25, security forces had arrested 022 active members of UNLF from Imphal West and Imphal East districts and recovered 011 arm, 9mm pistol, 143 ammunitions and 033 mobile handsets with 4 SIM cards. They were involved in extortion of huge amounts of money from general public. Assam MP emphasizes unity of Zo ethnic tribes in Northeast. Pradeep Bordoloi, the convener of the Northeast Congress Coordination Committee, launched a scathing critique of the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, alleging that they are spearheading a political strategy that deceives the people of the northeastern states. He mentioned that the Northeast Congress Coordination Committee emphasizes the importance of fostering unity among the Zo ethnic tribes in the region and hopes that the people will rally behind this vision. In the press conference, Bordoloi accused the BJP of playing divisive politics and manipulating regional parties to further their agenda, with the Mizoram National Front, MNF, also implicated in these allegations. Additionally, he raised concerns about the prolonged neglect of Manipur by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In a press conference, Bordoloi expressed his concerns regarding the political landscape in the Northeast, stating, "The BJP is playing divisive politics in the Northeast and is using regional parties as their drivers. These parties pretend to be passengers, but they are controlling the direction. Even the MNF is being used for such a purpose." Bordoloi drew attention to the crisis in Manipur, criticizing Prime Minister Modi for his perceived inaction. He pointed out that, even after 177 days, the Prime Minister has not visited Manipur or provided assistance, with the only acknowledgement being a 66-second mention in Parliament. Manipur government, don't follow holiday on every Friday resolution adopted by Joint Students' Body, LAMCA. The state government of Manipur has forbidden the government institutions from following LAMCA Joint Students' Body statement for observing every Friday as holiday by all government institutions. The Home Department Manipur issued an order on Friday advising all central and state government authorities and management authorities of institutions/establishment/autonomous bodies to ensure strict attendance of staff and students as usual. In case of any violation of the orders, the person, concerned without any exception shall be booked and prosecuted under relevant provision of law of land for the time being in force. The order stated that the state government has reportedly learnt from reliable sources about a public reminder by Joint Students' Body, reportedly based at Churachandpur district, which has allegedly been spreading the contents of the said public reminder through different media including social media platform like different WhatsApp groups. The order said, the content therein mentioned about public for adoption of resolution for observing every Friday as a holiday by all institutions of government of Manipur including the offices of the DC/SP/CEO/ADCs, government schools/colleges in the town of Churachandpur, which is totally illegal. The state government viewed the matter very seriously with utmost sensitivity as the same act is illegal and the notice so issued is without any authority. The Home Department also ordered that no one shall or attempt to make any deliberate effort to follow or enforce the above illegal declaration of holiday on every Friday except for those Fridays which are general holidays at any cost. It directed all district magistrates and superintendents of police of all districts to take up necessary actions to enforce the order. The Manipur state government once again manifested its discriminatory nature by issuing an order against the Kuki Zo people, an order against the Joint Students' Body LAMCA, for which the latter had earlier announced closure of all governmental offices on every Friday. It is to be noted here that no such order or appeal was issued when another tribal students' body locked government offices over internet ban in the state a few days ago. The state government's partisanship in dealing with the same situation in different way is evident clearly under the leadership of Communal and Biren Singh. Disinformation as a tool in Manipur conflict. The ongoing conflict between the majority Meitei community and the minority Kuki Zo tribes in Manipur has been continuing for over a month now. While there was a temporary cessation in hostilities after the Home Minister called for a 15-day period of peace, sporadic violence still occurs. However, it is clear that this conflict is highly unbalanced. The Meitei community, which holds the majority of seats in the assembly, 40 out of 60, wield significant power while the Kuki Zo tribes represent less than 16% of the population. The power imbalance is especially evident in the media landscape, where the Meitei community, with their strong control over the state's top positions, including the chief ministership, as well as their dominance in major media outlets, enjoy an unparalleled platform to promote their preferred narratives. The Kukis have been subjected to extremely derogatory language in the realm of politics. Recently, they have been accused of terrorism and narco-terrorism, which are highly stigmatizing allegations. This situation originated from Chief Minister N. Biren Singh's statement on May 29, where he claimed that 40 Kuki militants were killed and referred to them as Kuki terrorists. By using this narrative, the Chief Minister tried to portray the conflict as solely between Kuki terrorists and security forces, denying the presence of any inter-community tensions. However, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Anil Chauhan, strongly disagreed with this view and emphasized that the violence in Manipur was not related to counterinsurgency efforts but rather stemmed from ethnic clashes. In response, on May 31, a self-proclaimed NGO called the People's Alliance for Peace and Progress, Manipur, contested the Chief of Defense Staff's position and filed a public interest litigation, PIL, in the Supreme Court. They demanded that the government take action against Kuki militants allegedly involved in narco-terrorism in Manipur. Unfortunately, this legal action led to an unfair association of the terms terrorism and narco-terrorism with the Kuki community. However, the basis of these allegations, namely the Chief Minister's assertion of eliminating 40 Kuki terrorists, has been strongly refuted as disinformation by Lieutenant General H.S. Panig, RETD. He accused the chief minister of promoting ethnicity-driven disinformation. It is clear that the chief minister is actively involved in fabricating and spreading disinformation to defame and undermine the Kuki community, with the support of certain self-proclaimed NGOs. It is disheartening to witness the state of politics and discourse in Manipur, where even the Supreme Court of India is being exploited to advance their propaganda. However, the deliberate actions of the chief minister have successfully yielded the desired outcome. Major newspapers in Manipur are filled with attention-grabbing headlines, focusing on the alleged attacks carried out by Kuki militants or, in a malicious manner, labeling them as Kuki terrorists. This well-orchestrated effort, even with the support of opposition political parties as well, aims to attribute all acts of violence and ongoing conflicts solely to these individuals labeled as Kuki militants. To fully understand this coordinated campaign, it is crucial to consider the context of the existing ceasefire agreement between the central government and Kuki outfits. The Kukizo insurgents, consisting of 24 groups under the collective banners of the Kuki National Organization, KNO, and United People's Front, UPF, have been observing a suspension of Operation SU agreement with both the central and state governments since August 2008. These groups have been actively engaged in multiple rounds of negotiations with the central authorities. In fact, the Hindu even reported that they were close to reaching an agreement on granting local self-governance to Kuki tribal areas in Manipur, until the recent outbreak of violence on May 3 disrupted the progress. The persistent campaign demanding the suspension of the SU Pact reflects the opposition of the Meitei community towards the very concept of self-governance for the Kuki tribals. According to the Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA, all 8 terrorist or unlawful groups operating in Manipur belong to the Meitei community. These groups include the People's Liberation Army, PLA, United National Liberation Front, UNLF, Manipur People's Army, MPA, People's Revolutionary Party of Kangli-pak, PRI-pak, Kangli-pak Communist Party, KCP, Kongle Kamba Lup, KYKL, Coordination Committee, CORCOM, Alliance for Socialist Unity Kangli-pak, ASUK, and Manipur People's Liberation Front, MPLF. It is important to note that the PLA and KYKL even maintain an informal alliance with the Myanmar military to combat the People's Defense Forces, a resistance group. Despite the chief minister's desperate efforts to label the Kuki groups as terrorists, the true security threat to Manipur and India lies elsewhere. The dissemination of disinformation targeting the Kuki community in Manipur is not a new phenomenon. One particular instance revolves around the widespread perception of a significant influx of refugees from neighboring Myanmar, a country currently undergoing political turmoil. About 1 month before the eruption of violence, the state government allegedly launched a War on Illegal Migrants campaign, as reported by Organizer, a mouthpiece of the RSS, Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, with the chief minister labeling the Kukis as foreigners, despite acknowledging that there are about 2,000 Myanmarese nationals residing in Manipur. Another reason behind the stigmatization of the Kukizo tribes as illegal immigrants is the insinuation of continuous tribal migration from Myanmar and Bangladesh since the 1950s. However, these claims lack factual evidence. Census records of Manipur spanning from 1901 to 2011 indicate that the proportion of the Kuki population has remained relatively stable, with figures of 14.5% and 15.7% respectively, a mere 1.2% variation over a span of 110 years. This highlights the necessity of critically examining and challenging the false narratives and disinformation that are being deliberately propagated to delegitimize and discriminate against the Kukizo community. Moreover, the Kukizo tribes have been subjected to various derogatory labels such as drug traffickers, poppy cultivators, and protected forest encroachers. The continuous dissemination of false information and the smear campaign orchestrated by the Meitei majority community, spearheaded by the chief minister himself, raises serious concerns about the potential for peaceful coexistence between these two communities. Such actions can be seen as intentional efforts to degrade, dehumanize, and deny the Kukizo tribes their fundamental human rights. The deep-rooted mistrust that exists makes it increasingly challenging to envision a future of harmony for both communities. Given these circumstances, it may be necessary for the central government to officially recognize the existing communal and geographical divide between the Meitei and Kukizo communities. Meitei scholar and JNU faculty Dr. Bimala Koijam has likened this division to the partition of India in 1947. This would entail granting a separate administration for the Kukizo tribes, allowing them to govern their affairs autonomously. While such a solution may appear drastic, it reflects the grim reality of the situation and the pressing need to address the deep-seated tensions and mistrust that plague the relationship between these communities. Dominant communal machination. The conflict in Manipur holds far-reaching implications beyond the initial causes and the number of casualties. It centers around the deliberate expulsion of the Kukizo minority and the subsequent seizure of their land through ethnic cleansing. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh and the Meiteis, who hold the reins of power, have misused their dominant position and are controlling over the state machinery to unjustly label the Kukizo communities as criminals and assert ownership over their territory. The situation in Manipur today bears similarities to historical events like the Trail of Tears in the United States, where the dominant white community used its influence to appropriate the lands of minority tribal groups. In the 19th century, the Indian Removal Act forcefully displaced several Native American tribes, including the Cherokee, Choctaw, Creek, Seminole, and Chickasaw, forcing them to relocate to designated Indian Territory, which is now known as Oklahoma. Through political pressure, economic coercion, and military might, the white population, with the support of the U.S. government, orchestrated the relinquishment of ancestral lands by these tribes. In recent years in Manipur, the Métis have employed various strategies to further their agenda, taking advantage of existing Indian and state laws. They have targeted the Kuki communities, creating divisions, bribing tribal leaders, distorting historical narratives, and stigmatizing the Kuki people as refugees associated with drug-related terrorism. In an oppressive regime and amidst hate Kuki movement, a dangerous community ideology has emerged, aiming to indoctrinate and radicalize the younger Métis generation, thus perpetuating the ongoing conflict. The Manipur conflict adds to a long list of historical conflicts where dominant communities have capitalized on their power to exploit marginalized groups and seize their lands. Comparable situations include the Congo Free State, the Darfur conflict, the Bosnian War, and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. These instances illustrate the systematic exploitation of marginalized communities by powerful groups striving for territorial control. In a departure from historical conflicts, the current war has been rife with an alarming prevalence of falsehoods and disinformation. Deception and fabricated impulse news have become integral elements, significantly shaping the narrative. Moreover, the Mira Pibus women's group has taken an intriguing and controversial approach, resorting to the exposure of their bodies as a means of bolstering support for the Métis militants, thereby gaining a strategic advantage in the war. This convergence of deceit and provocative tactics has added an unconventional dimension to the already complex and volatile. It is worth noting that the origins of this current Manipur ethnic crisis can be traced back further than Churachandpur in Manipur. Métis political and revolutionary leaders, supported by their intellectual class, have initiated hidden agenda against Kuki some time ago, and this played a significant role in initiating this conflict. The involvement of Métis nationalists from Myanmar and Bangladesh further highlights a hidden agenda against the Kuki communities. Should this war be resolved through evidence-based discussions and constructive dialogue, it is likely that the Kuki communities will emerge victorious. Armed with substantial evidence, testimonies, and revelations exposing the hidden agenda of the Métis, the Kuki communities stand a strong chance of success. Conversely, the Métis will face considerable challenges as they grapple with the consequences of their deceit and attempts to obscure their communal objectives, ultimately leading to the exposure of their true intentions on the global stage. Snippet. Guide Hostel at BSF Academy, Tekkanpur, Madhya Pradesh. Dedicated in memory of Sub-Inspector L. Payatinsat Gait, 59 Battalion of BSF hailing from Mapho Kuki village in Kangpokpi district, Manipur. He was martyred on January 12, 2020 during ceasefire violation by Pakistan at Lok near Poonch in J&K and posthumously honored with Kirti Chakra. His own village was razed and burned down in Manipur ethnic violence. News and picture. The Kuki Konglai Lompi, KKLGHQ, in their endeavor to ease the financial burden of the IDPs who have faced immense financial difficulties in availing medicinal items, have opened a pharmacy, exclusively for the internally displaced persons, IDPs, at KKL Complex, IB Road, Lamka,